Hello, this is Tyler, day 14 of Lent, and yeah, it's been actually a really fun day. I'm doing this over my lunch hour again, um, having some fun with my employees today. So we're making some videos for a conference that's coming up, kind of as it's a satire promotional type thing for our software. So anyways, we're having a great time doing it, and it's just fun to I think probably for all of us to have a little change of pace, which normal workflow, anything that kind of gets you out of that, just and kind of cut loose and have fun. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing today, and so it's just good to do that. So I think I mentioned yesterday that I was kicking off a new class. This class is interpreting the Gospels, which is requiring me to read a lot of gospel stuff, either commentary or just directly out of the Gospels. So that's kind of what I've been into. So I've been spending quite a bit of time reading through the Gospels side by side and different things, which was actually, pretty good. It's pretty good just to kind of really dive into the life and ministry of Christ and just see what the different authors of the Gospels, kind of what their take on it was, what they remembered most vividly, and how they talked about it, as they reflected on Jesus. And we all probably do that to some extent, at least I think we should. We should process who Jesus is in our lives, experience Jesus, read about Jesus, live day by day, with him. And then we can reflect on Jesus and talk about Jesus and new and different ways. I mean, I guess one of the things I was thinking about the other day, I watched this video from some guru. I can't even remember what his name was. It just popped up on my YouTube feed and I watched it. Actually, it was on Rogan. It was on Joe Rogan. So then and what he said on Rogan was actually interesting. And so then more of his videos popped up on my feed, and this one girl asked him about sex before marriage. And, many times the typical Christian will just say, it's a sin, we shouldn't do it, it's not God's plan. And this guy actually landed in a very similar place, but he explained it in such a much more eloquent way. and I thought, man, I wish, more Christians could learn to explain some of these things that God asks us to do in a different way, because these things aren't effective anymore. Just saying, well, it's sin to have sex before marriage, and and you don't want to go to hell, do you? That doesn't do much for young people these days, including myself when I was young. And if somebody would have taken the time to have explained it in a different way, maybe pretty similar to how this guy did, which I kind of go back to, I think it was Augustine that said all truth is God's truth. And so, in this case, here's a guy, he's not a Christian, but what he explained about premarital sex and why we wait to have sex with somebody else, I think was right on. It was definitely the truth. And so it was just so good. It was good because I think through some of these things. I rethink through a lot of these things that I was taught and that I was just kind of accepted. And now I have a teenage boy, and I have another one that's almost a teenager. And so we're starting to have these types of conversations. And I'm not just going to say, hey, you don't want to sin, you don't want to go to hell, do you? That's not helpful. It wasn't helpful for me. I don't think it's ever been helpful for anybody. And because it doesn't change the desire, right? Like, and we're not going to change the desire. We're going to deal with the desire, but either we're going to be motivated to kind of confront that desire and say, you know what, I don't want to go down this path, and here's why. Or we're going to get some, lousy explanation as to why we don't do something and be like, nah, I don't buy it, and then just go do what we want to do anyways. So I don't know. That's a rant. That's definitely a rant. But on my mind, I guess, last couple days. And, I just think as Christians, we need to be more. We need to be more thoughtful. Instead of being lazy and giving easy, cliche answers, we need to be thoughtful. And I think in doing that, we actually understand God's word on a much deeper level. And so, yeah, blessings to you. Yeah, Seth and I are still kind of haven't really totally connected yet. Maybe this weekend we can figure out a time to sit down and just record together and talk about his experiences too. Something that we don't actually talk about much together, Seth and I, when we talk, but I just like to put it out there since he's not here. Seth and Alyssa, of course, are missionaries in Austria, and they do what they do through support. Like my wife and I, we support Seth and Alyssa, and a lot of his family members and her family members give them support in different churches and those kind of things. But I know that Seth does not love raising support, and many times he would rather go without than ask for more support. And so if you have interest in getting behind the ministry that Seth and Alyssa do in Austria, which is a wonderful ministry, they just do so much for youth in that area. Reach out to us, wewilljourney.connect@gmail.com. I'll get you the info. These are two beautiful young people with just a wonderful little family. They have a family of 4 beautiful little children. But just like you and me, they have needs and things. And sometimes they just go without because of what they're doing. And so it'd be a great time to just think about Seth and Alyssa in kind of a roundabout way. We're also supporting some of the things going on in our world today and the support of people that are really in need. So God's blessings to you, and looking forward to just kind of continuing this journey together.